Let's walk through how to do local SEO analysis using Semrush. Now, if you don't already have a Semrush account, I'll leave a link down below where you can get signed up for a free trial, be able to use all these different tools that I'm going to show you here. But sort of the idea here is we want to know what industry we're advertising or trying to do SEO in first and foremost. Now, let's say, for example, we're trying to rank a website for a plumbing company in Scottsdale, Arizona. When you think about local SEO, it's really about having a superior online presence to your local competitors. If you have that in place, then you're going to be able to show up at the top of the search results. So there's a handful of things that you need to take into consideration. For one, there's the Google Business Profile listings here. These are really important for local SEO. Then there's the website listings down below. Of course, we have ads up here at the top, but that's completely different. That's paid advertising. It's not search engine optimization necessarily. We can see a few things here. These companies that are showing up at the top, they all have quite a lot of reviews here on Google, and they have pretty good star ratings. I bet if we were to dig into these, they also have lots of information in their listings. They're posting regularly on their listings. They're doing all of the essentials correct on their listings here. And a good portion of the organic search traffic on local goes to these listings. So making sure that your listing is optimized is very, very important for local SEO. Then having your website optimized is also going to be important. They actually kind of work together symbiotically to tell Google that you are an authority in this space and that it should show you at the top of the search results. So oftentimes you'll see companies that are ranked here are also showing up here, or at least companies who are on the first page of Google with their website are also showing up here. One thing to note though about these maps listings or Google Business Profiles is that they are highly geospecific, which is why we can see them on the map here. So it's going to want to show you listings highest up in the search results that are closest to you first, and then it's going to kind of taper off. So if you search for plumbers in Scottsdale, it's not going to show you something all the way down here in like Glendale or Phoenix that's like a long ways away. It's going to start showing stuff in Scottsdale first and then taper off from there. For this video, you want to just keep in mind what's going on with these listings and with the websites, and we're going to use Semrush to do a bit of an analysis of what's happening with these different companies here. But I just wanted to preface by saying this is sort of a twofold effort. You know, if you're just trying to rank your website but you don't have your maps listing set up, or vice versa, you're going to be kind of playing with one hand tied behind your back, and that's not really a good approach. That being said, when we put a main keyword in, like plumbers in Scottsdale, use your head to kind of come up with what you think is the main keyword in your local niche. It's usually going to be the service or product that you offer, followed by the city that you offer it in most cases. That's kind of a simple way to do it. But then we're going to see some competitors show up here at the top. I'm actually going to take a look at Scottsdale Plumbing because I can see here that this is just their homepage that's ranking up at the top, so it's going to make it a little bit easier to show you what's going on. For this one, it actually looks like it's a page on their website that's showing up here, and it's most likely a Scottsdale page. They probably have a page for all the different areas around Phoenix. And so just for ease of showing you how this works, we're just going to right click and copy the URL for Scottsdale Plumbing, and then come over here, drop their website in, and click search. Now the powerful thing about Semrush is you can get data about any of your competitors. In fact, it's probably best to do this same thing for all of your top competitors. That's what I would recommend. So we can actually open up another window. We'll just do this for both of these. I'm not going to go through every competitor here because it would just take too long. But I'm going to copy that page, drop it in here, and like I was saying, it's their service area, plumbers, Scottsdale. They have a whole bunch of pages, most likely, on their website that's going into depth about all the different areas that they service. This page is not giving us a lot of information. It doesn't have like backlinks, data, and that's probably just because it's just one page of their website. So we can't actually just look at the website as a whole. And we can see right off the hop that there's a lot of keywords that this site ranks for. They're getting a decent amount of organic traffic. It looks like it's been picking up over time. So they're getting about 5,800 visitors per month to their website, mostly from the US, which would make total sense. And then we're seeing something similar with this Scottsdale plumbing site, although it is ranked lower in the organic search results. So it's number 2, where this is number 1. And Scottsdale plumbing also probably only focuses on Scottsdale, whereas Bumblebee plumbing is probably focused on the whole Phoenix Valley. So that's why we're seeing more traffic, more rankings, like more keywords that are ranked for this business versus this business. Yeah. All right. Now we're going to see a couple of key factors up here right at the very top, like the authority score. So it's no surprise that Bumblebee plumbing has a higher authority score than Scottsdale plumbing. I mean, Bumblebee plumbing is ranked higher in the organic search results. The authority score is really just a breakdown of their backlink profile. And so they have more backlinks from more domains that have better authority. It's not always more is better. Quality makes a huge impact when it comes to backlinks. And we can analyze these. They're probably showing up in a bunch of local directories. They're probably getting links from other places as well. So they're in the Better Business Bureau. They're on Nextdoor. These are kind of like fundamentals, right? If you're not in any directories, local directories are really important for local SEO. They're in Home Advisor. So we want to make sure that if our competitor's in 300 local directories, we're also in those same directories, right? Because again, with local SEO, we're just competing against the local competitors here. So if we know what these two competitors are doing in terms of their backlinks and their content and their on-site optimization, and then we one-up them, Google's just going to see our business as a better option, and it's going to put us higher up in the organic search results. That's sort of the overarching strategy here. And with this Semrush tool, we'll get a really in-depth breakdown of the types of backlinks they're getting, how many are follow and no follow backlinks, how many are sponsored, the number of referring domains, the different IP addresses, total number of backlinks, how many new backlinks they're getting on a consistent basis, how many they're losing. All of this is going to play a role in what's allowing them to show up at the top of the organic search results. I'm not going to go into every single tool here, but just start digging in, get familiar with what the top competitors in your local area are doing. And that way you can have a sense of what you need to be doing in order to outrank your competitors. So backlinks are a pretty big portion of your rankings. Now it's not everything. In fact, Google is starting to go away from backlinks and look more and more towards user experience. And this gets a little bit tricky, but we can look at stuff like a site audit, right? So if we go over here to the site audit tool, now I've not necessarily done a site audit for these sites specifically. It does take some time, but all you do is create a project here, put the domain name in, go through, create the project. That is going to analyze that the technical SEO on that website. And you can do this for your competitors. I'd also recommend you do it for your own business. And then compare the two. If your site has 339 errors and your competitor has 5 errors, then you need to fix a bunch of those errors and get your site as healthy as possible from a technical SEO standpoint in order to compete with somebody who has a really, well optimized website from a technical standpoint. So that's going to be things like 404 errors, structured data that's invalid, broken links. I mean, any number of things could be wrong on your website that prevents Google from indexing and crawling and understanding what's actually going on with your website. So that is a really big component of your local SEO. And this is true for any SEO, whether it's national, regional, local. You've got to have your technical SEO dialed in, or you're not going to be able to compete with other people that do have their local SEO dialed in, right? Now, going back to this overview here, we want to take a look at the keywords that they're ranking for. And I'm actually going to switch over to Scottsdale because this is going to be more local oriented. But I'm just going to click on this keywords option, pull up a page. I actually just opened it up in a new tab, and it's going to take a second for it to show up here. We can then take a look at their top ranked pages for their main search terms. So Scottsdale plumbing does look like it is one of the higher searched search volume terms. It's getting 260 searches a month. But something like Scottsdale Plumber actually gets more, and even Plumber Scottsdale AZ gets 590 searches per month. It doesn't necessarily make that much of a difference in this case because it's their homepage that's ranking for all of these variations of their main keyword. But I like to find the one that's getting the most search volume that they're ranked for, and then just open the page up and take a look at what they have going on with their actual website, right? So they have an image, you know, the old cliche, an image speaks 1,000 words. They're showing some results of the work that they do. Big bold headlines. They're saying stuff like same day service available, schedule your routine maintenance today. Their navigation is simple and clear and concise. These are all user experience elements. They even have their maps listing embedded here, their contact information clearly displayed, showing their truck, what that looks like. Now these things are important when it comes to the user experience of a website. A couple of things to note. Google wants people to be able to find what they're looking for within about 2 or 3 clicks when they get to your website. If somebody lands on your website and you don't have clear navigation up at the top, it's like a hamburger, you know, where it's like 3 lines and you got to click to even see the menu. People aren't going to navigate around your site. They're just going to hit the back button after they visit your site from organic search results, and they're going to leave. And that's a bad sign to Google. That means they're not finding what they're looking for. Google wants people to come to your website, call and reach out, and then stop their search. So if you can provide a page that details out what people need to know about, like the main brands that you help with, that you know, the types of services you offer, like emergency service, you have a parts showroom in this case, your contact information is clearly displayed, you have reviews so people can see that people are having a good experience working with your company. Again, it's easy to get through and navigate through your website to find what you're looking for. You've got your different service areas listed out here. All of these things are going to play a role in your rankings because it's going to provide a solid user experience, and Google wants to reward a good user experience on their platform. Otherwise, if Google's user experience was terrible, nobody would use Google and then they wouldn't make any money, right? So that's a really big component of things. Now, if you are not an expert in user experience, go hire somebody who is a conversion rate optimization specialist or a user experience, a UX designer who can help you improve your website or your client's website and get it set up in such a way that it is going to show Google, hey, look, when people come here, they're finding what they're looking for, they're navigating around a few pages, and then they're reaching out. If that's happening, that's a huge, I cannot understate, a huge indicator to Google that you should be showing up at the top of the search results. We can do this for all of our competitors. Take a look at their website, see what they have going on. It's very, very important to know what your website looks like and the user experience compared to your top competitors. I'm actually just going to take this same keyword, going to come over here to their keywords that they're ranking for, do a search for it because we already know that they're showing up, and we can see that there's some variations of these keywords here, but we can see what their page looks like. Very similar in the way that they have their menu set up to easily navigate through things. They actually have a simple online booking thing here, which is probably in part why Google's favoring this page, right? Somebody, without even scrolling down this page, somebody can chat, they can just go ahead and book their service. It's really easy to call, they can click to call, they can schedule right here, they can view the specials that it's offering, that this business is offering. It's a really clear headline like, hey, we're plumbers in Scottsdale, Arizona, here's kind of what we do. So this above the fold section is really, really important. This is the information people see before they scroll down the page on your website. If you utilize heat map tracking, you'll notice that not a lot of people scroll down on a website. It kind of surprises me every time I see it, but most people land on here, expect to be able to find what they're looking for and not even need to scroll down the page. Some percentage of people will want more information and they will scroll down, so you got to make sure that you're satisfying, you know, like, hey, do they do pipe repairs? Oh, they do. Perfect. I'm going to reach out through this chat box here. I'm going to get in touch with this company. Bing, bang, boom. Now this company has a lead. Google feels like this company provided value by giving that searcher what they were looking for. that searcher didn't have to go looking around at 5 or 10 different websites to find a plumber that offers drain cleaning or drain services or pipe repair or whatever it is that they're looking for. And so Google's going to favor that website up here at the top of the search results. So if you'll notice, what I'm utilizing is some of this data to know who's performing, how different competitors are performing, looking at their backlinks, which pages are ranked, etc. And then I'm utilizing knowledge of local SEO to figure out where a company is falling short and where they have an opportunity to improve. And so you need sort of a knowledge of local SEO, like how user experience works, how backlinks work, all these different things. And then you need to have a tool where you can actually analyze what's going on, because there's no real other way to know what backlinks exist for this website, which referring domains they're utilizing, which ones you need to be utilizing. And that information can be invaluable. There's other things you can find too, like if you want a bigger list of people to look into, you can utilize the examples of competitors. So look through all the different competitors, dig into their SEO even further, and just keep digging until you've figured out more or less what this company is doing in order to outrank your company, and then just make your company better than theirs, and you'll win the race. So I hope you found this overview helpful. If there's anything you did have questions about, don't hesitate to reach out. Just drop your questions in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to get back to them there.
If you're like most new business owners, you're probably struggling to get your online presence established, let alone get it to the point where it's bringing you a consistent flow of customers, right? So that's why I created this free course where I actually walk you step by step through the whole process of setting up your online presence. This is the same process we've been using for our clients for over a decade at one of my agencies. And essentially, I'm going to show you how to set up an SEO-friendly business name right from the get-go, how to develop your website really quickly and easily, how to set up your Google Maps listing, start getting some Google reviews, everything you need in order to have a substantial online presence where people can actually start finding you and purchasing your products or services. The best part is I'm going to show you how to do it in under a couple of hours, and all for less than 50 bucks. If you're interested, I'll leave a link below where you can get signed up today. Make sure to check this course out for free right now, because I'm probably going to start charging for this at some point in the future. All right, I'll see you on the other side.